Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today we are back as Alba. Wait, no, the Isles. That's right. We are continuing with our Norse Gaelic time. In last episode, I'm not going to lie, it was suffering. But we have struggled so we can thrive. We have set ourselves up to in a position to be the hegemon of Great Britain. England and I are, well, England's still better than us, but we're comparable. The Norse-Gale culture is not great, but much better. We do accept all cultures within our borders, and it is set to be a fight still to take over the rest of the Isles, but hopefully less of a painful one than it was before. So where does that leave us? Well, considering for the first 50 years of last episode, I didn't actually really get to build a building. I am taking the every chance I get to actually have a real economy, and we are booming, mostly thanks to our wonderful, wonderful vassals paying us so much. So our next step is just to consolidate, as always, consolidate, and gear up for what is going to be another at least two. No, it's going to be more. We have a good couple fights still left the English, and then maybe more of the North Sea calls us. We can only hope. And we've just started by annexing our first subject, Cumberland, and we're going to start to kind of eat up some of these Northumbrian vassals. I don't want to get rid of the entire Northumbrian culture, though I am going to convert a lot of it to Norse-Gale. But I'll probably leave a little Northumbrian reserve right in the lovely city of Hull, which, from everything I've ever heard about Hull, is just a great place to be. It's a real 5-star. That's interesting. So since we've formed Alba or Scotland, we are getting these Scottish flavor events. So for example, we just got something that I assume is meant to fire much earlier, the Mons Meg, which gives us a small relationship boost with France and a professional unit of cannons, which in English has just decided to march north again. I also don't know how my Irish vassals are actually going to get over, so all of this land might just be kind of worthless in that regard. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a tight war. That's how this feels. So just looking at the rough numbers of the war, it's slanted in England's favor quite strongly. I can't oppose them on the sea. Those are all light ships. And of England's 37,000, I believe only 3,000 of them are professionals. Well, the honest answer is England has me beat. I don't have the numbers to beat them, so let me just see what they actually want. Ouch. He wants all of Lincolnshire and the riding, for me to cancel the East Riding in Cornwall, pay war reps and give him 20 ducats. I think I can come back from that. It's not what I want to do, but I just need more time. I can't stop what's coming, and if he gets up and sieges me down, I think it's just going to get worse. So I am going to have to concede the war. I've hired 2 merc armies, and we just got blown out of the water repeatedly. I couldn't stop them. That doesn't feel good. Yeah, I'll have to. I think if I can almost get France on board. I still don't know why they broke their alliance with me. Yeah, I just need England to have a little less antagonism with me, and if I can do that, then I can certainly. But it's not done yet. Apparently, I thought I was out of the hard part, but not quite yet. We'll try and get East Riding back. We'll try and get the Cornish back. Okay, so after doing a bit of ass kissing, France is willing to ally me again, which will hopefully stop England from coming and shoving their boot down my throat. On top of that, with a French ally, hopefully I can get some tempo back. I've just been worrying about consolidating. I've annexed a couple of vassals in Northumbria, and I have just been paying off the loans I was forced to take out. Alrighty. One of the next things I'm going to do is upgrade Dublin to a city before anything else. Is this the most efficient thing to do? Probably not, but as soon as I get Dublin down as a city, I can set up a harbor administration, and push really good control into Ireland. I do need to stack a bit more to overcome the Irish cultural tradition because Irish is a very, maybe not very influential, but a very traditional culture. Um, and it takes a while to integrate a lot of them. But there's so much population here that I need direct control over. Um, and I have time with my French alliance. I'm not sure I feel comfortable betting on the French to make it all the way up here. Well, the Navy is smaller than the English is, but I don't know much besides that. Um, suppose we could try. French do want to come in. It's going to be mostly a sit and wait for the French to win a war. That's not the most exciting. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. Yeah, all right. Let's have the French come on in and win this for me. We're back, England. It's remarkably uncomfortable. Just kind of being in the passenger seat of a war you start, because we all know how reliable the EU5 AI is. And if your answer is anything but extremely reliable, then oh no, but the Brittany is starting to land just into a whole pile of forts, and the French are bringing 10k troops up, but we'll see if that's enough to really turn it around. The French are running amok over southern England, so this should be pretty well in the bag, but it was pretty dicey there at the opening. It's always a question of if the French AL figure out how to make it over the English Channel. And if the English were any better at repelling their naval invasions, I don't think I would have. Oh, fuck off, England. Your capital's getting sieged down, and you're coming to beat me off of Stoke. Like, what? Why? This is your professional stack too. They could actually do something down there. Something something AI targets players. Blah blah blah. All right. Well, the British Isles are set aflame, though. I am going to drop a naval governor down in Dublin, so we can get some better control going into Ireland. Not that we have bad control, um, but it'll just bring everything from being at like a 50 closer to an 80. Well, we're waiting on France doing cleanup because honestly, they're every time I stand on a fort down in England, they just come and blow me off. I am going to just use the Parliament CB to go in on East Riding just to get my little Northumbrian reserve back. Oh, I had a fall through on threat CB. Okay, well, waste of a Parliament CB. And from Hull, I'm not going to full annex them. I am just going to take their money and make them a vassal because again, I want my little Northumbrian reserve already, and very much so thanks to France carrying the entire war on their back. Our second war with England this episode goes much better. We are going to take back the West Riding, Lincolnshire, and then push further south into Staffordshire, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, Norfolk, Suffolk, Cornwall, and all of Devon, as well as take war reps. The benefit of doing all this is we're essentially seizing all the forts England took for ourselves. Ate up more Cornwall. Wales is as it is. We have taken some of England's most populous provinces. Like Norfolk has a whole 194,000. That's insane. Um, and hopefully, again, we can just take a moment, breathe, recollect, and go on in when we're ready again. I don't need to eat England that fast. I would like to get more into Ireland though, especially now that we have sweet, sweet Dublin as a port, as a naval governor. And look at that sweet, sweet economy growing. Oh, I didn't realize how happy 60 ducats would make me after knowing what it is to not have any ducats at all. Um, I am concerned about England still a little bit, but we've detoothed them for the most part. We're on roughly equal things, and hopefully Norfolk, and Suffolk can field a lot of troops themselves. But I don't want my vassals getting any fancy ideas. Actually, I should make sure that they're both very much on board. And we're gonna go in for another war on England with Francis backing again. I kind of wanted to avoid it because I feel kind of bad beating him down with the big French stick. But on the other hand, if I don't, I don't know. But we're gonna go in on England and let France do the dirty work. We do actually have something of a professional army. Hopefully, it's enough to stop England from choking us out. It's roughly what England fields as a professional army too. Um, and with all of our subjects on the border, maybe we can even actually have a active role in the battles. Well, we really haven't pushed into the English land at all. The French are only just landing. It's only been a couple of years, but could I push more and take a stupid amount of land from England? Yes. I have no need to. So what I'm going to do is just seize this. Actually, I'll take Somerset instead of Dorset just for the fine, and you keep that. Um, just because it has the fort. But yeah, so we're gonna take. Oh gosh, is this still the Midlands? I don't know where the cutoff between the Midlands and South England is. I think it's like a line, but I'm gonna take more of central England and a bit of Somerset, and I'm also going to seize the market center of London. I don't know where it's gonna end up, but I'm gonna take it and not take a stupid amount of aggressive expansion. The map does look awful. The new market, the yeah, that's a word for a market. Um, has ended up here. So I'm going to end up keeping this state for myself, and I'm going to release the rest of this as vassals. So let me go and do that really quick. And just like that, isn't that so much prettier? Truly almost art. We're also just going to set this to integrate. I'm never going to be able to get control down there, but holding on to the market center is worth it. Although, oh, ah, that's funny. Yes, I am immediately at war with the English revolt. That makes sense. That should be put down quite quickly. An unfortunate truth is France and the Paris market now control some of southern England, which isn't great, but I just noticed for the first time I've seen the whole game, we as Alba actually have more population than England does. We're rocking 1.3 mil, where England is only just above a mil. We also, uh, let's see, they have 57 locations, we have 104, though our locations are generally less densely populated than obviously southern England. You know what time it is. That's right. Time to go kick England down again. In the meantime, obviously, we've still just been integrating what we took from the last war, but can't let them stand back up, else they'll give us problems. I think I might actually just let France and the vassals handle this one. I don't think I'm needed. All I will do is get on the front line and die. Right, and again, an incredibly quick war in and out. I don't actually want to take that much English land because I'm straddling my Diplo limit as it is, and I don't want to tempt France to siege down that much land. So we're just gonna steal 7 territories. Also, the antagonism for that is just stupid. Um, and just like that, Perfidious Albion is basically stuck in the bottom corner of England, as well as Wales, of course. But anyway, as for the economy, which I'm sure that you are interested in, let's see. Our tax base has continued to grow. We started off around here with the 100 ducats. We've tripled it. Our RGOs are very well developed. If we look here at our goods, you can see all of the RGOs are maxed out to the point that they give us basically the best value they can. Um, our buildings, we have a lot of strong industries, mostly spinners guilds and tailors guilds. And yeah, trading we do quite well from. The estates are under control mostly. The nobles are a little powerful, but I'm working on choking them out. Uh, we're going quite well, and ignore that exploration cost. It's nothing. We're not doing anything. Alrighty. Uh, if I come across anything, I'll let you know. Oh, look at that. The Emerald Isle getting covered in nothing but tarmac. Just as Ireland was meant to be. One big gridlock. And about half of Ireland has been integrated. It's not the cleanest integration I've ever done. I should probably go up and clean up Sutherland and Ross too, just and Angus, just for the sake of borders, and then I could just look south at those guys. But you know, we're doing well. We're up to 1.5 million pops, whereas England is all the way down to 700,000. And our truce is almost up with England, so it's almost time to go on and pay them another visit. I really am kind of concerned about going too far over the Diplo limit, though, so that's why I've been integrating like a madman. I know that some of the names from Norse Gaelic get pretty messed up, like Dublin. Well, Dublin's recognizable, right? Or Edinburgh, I can almost make it out there. Or Perth, you can make out pretty decently. But what did they do to York? I know that York is an old Roman settlement, so like of course it's gonna get messed up, but like Ebarth, Ibar, no man, I'm not even gonna insult whatever Middle English that's trying to be. That's just unpronounceable to me. Yeah, that's rough. But yeah, we've integrated pretty well down to York, a little bit farther south with Doncaster, um, and now I'm gonna turn around and do some of the more northern stuff and try and finish up Ireland. And actually, possibly more notably, all of my Northumbrian vassals that I am going to integrate have been integrated. Of course, we have East Riding, or better known as Hull, um, to be our lovely Northumbrian reservation where they get to live, in tranquility. And you can see the curious creatures that they are move about. But that does mean we start to hit the wall of English vassals that are going to be quite difficult to integrate because obviously the English culture is a bit stronger than Norse Gaelic. So English, for example, has 320 cultural tradition and 261, whereas Norse Gaelic has 248 and 200, respectively respectively. So I'm gonna have to build up some universities. Part of the issue is that because there are so many English subjects here, I've unintentionally made English stronger because each of them bump up the number a bit their own, and they can develop their own towns as small subjects are wont to do in EU5, and I have to pay the toll for that every step of the way. It's gonna be kind of a battle to get through them all, but with a couple universities, we probably should be able to. Also, for the first time in a long time, we, the Norse Gaelic, are the largest people group in our country, followed them by the Irish, then by the Scots. Guess what time it is, everybody? That's right, we're gonna go bully England again. Except this time, instead of calling France to do it, oh, yeah, Cornwall, get in here, help me beat up England. We're just going to do it ourselves. Um, Hopefully, we'll be able to actually eat up the coast to stop the French from getting over, because that is something I'm worried about. So I'm going to cook up this absolutely disgusting peace deal here, where I will take Essex, Kent, Middlesex, Hertfordshire, and Hampshire, or sorry, just Hampshire. Um, I would take Sussex, except it got sieged down by the French, and they're not handing it over to me. Hopefully, the English capital gets relocated into Flanders. Realistically, I expect it to stay somewhere in South England, but I was thinking about cutting the English off, but they would just be too fractured. Or cutting, I was thinking about cutting the French off, but they would leave the English too fractured. They wouldn't accept the peace deal. Um, yeah. So there's just no way I'm getting that. The next war, I certainly will dodge adding the French. There's no way I could fuck it up that bad, right, guys? Um, but no. So we're just going to take what we have now, It's already 100 antagonism anyway. The new English capital is where? Give the game a moment to think about where it is. Okay, the new English capital. Makes sense. It's ended up in Buckingham. Maybe they should put a palace there. However, perhaps we should just be content that we now have London, or Londine, within our grasp. If we'll ever actually be able to get control down there, I wonder, can I set down another local governor? Well, for many reasons, no, but that's because it's not court, right? Oh, okay, I just need a road. If I could get a road all the way down there, then yes, I could. I don't want to wait that long to get a connection down to London. So what I'm going to do is some gross border manipulation to get a nice connection up there right away. So I'm going to give, of course, Bedford over to Cambridgeshire and then seize. Where's the seize? Territory of Bedford. And then do something similar here. So I'm going to, from Nottinghamshire, have them transfer Retford to Derbyshire, and I'm going to have Leicestershire transfer Loughborough to Lincolnshire, and then I'm just going to seize the 4 provinces in a straight line, and then make sure I have a road connection running through them. Is that going to antagonize all of them a little bit? Yes, but should it piss any of them off enough to actually care? No. At least that's the hope. Oh, and we also got a pop-up about annexing London. We can either force people out of London, or we can leave London be. As funny as everybody up to Dumfries would be, I mean, 250 peasants for, wow. The problem is Dumfries is a shitty place for a city. Well, eventually I should shift up to Edinburgh, Perth, or actually move my capital down to London and send a governor up here. But I'm going to leave London be because 20 stability is also really good. And I don't want to antagonize the people of London that much. They've not wronged me. It was their king. At least that's what I'll say, so I don't burn them to the ground. Actually, that's a great point. Speaking of their king, I could become a kingdom. I just need the prestige. So I'll have to figure out how to get 50 odd prestige. I suppose I could actually invest in the culture. Also, follow-up question, because the comments always love when I am a stupid bastard. Can anyone point out to me why I cannot ask English to improve its cultural opinion of me? Because obviously each of my subjects, right, I have a Cornish, a Welsh, a Northumbrian, and an Irish, or an Anglo-Irish, I can ask to improve their opinion of me. But none of my English subjects will let me. I am also going to relocate the market back down to London, as I have no need for it to be so far north. It's 800 ducats, but it's 800 ducats well spent on putting on the most important city. So yeah. Hopefully we're able to actually get things together, avoid a big rebellion from the English nobility, and everybody can just calm down and be Norse-Gale together or something. Now, I am being given the option here to stab France in the back and end the old alliance. However, I think... Yeah, why would I ever stab France in the back? Listen, I am not risking angering the big blue blob at the moment. If France looked at me funny, I think it could kill me. So I really don't need that coming my way. And actually, with the local governor down, you can see that our potential control of the Isles of Great Britain is really good. Again, I think my capital will have to move north, or it really might just have to end up somewhere in London, which sucks, but you know. And then I can put a governor up in Scotland. I'll see. I'll look at the population once the whole island is under my control and make sure I have it set up just right. But you can see that we're really painting everything with, if not perfect control, at least enough that we are getting some amount of proximity there. I do think something like I do think something like Cornwall and Wales would be hard for us to get good control into. Obviously, we could do the coastal stuff. It's just getting into those mountains or all the way down here is somewhat difficult. Actually, since England is gone, we've lost the Standard Court, right? There's nothing affecting maximum control like that. No. All right, fantastic. You know what time it is? Time to hit England with the car. They've allied Aragon. I'm gonna use France. Bing, bang, boom. Nothing remarkable is gonna happen. Also, just as an important note for me to make, because I didn't do this at game start, but I read the comments. I saw what you people said. You wonderful people who you wonderful people who lend me your time. I did turn on a historical nations to open up an option. You know, just to be clear though, I will probably form Great Britain. I'm gonna push to form the North Sea Empire. What I don't think I'll do is form something like Celtia, even though I could go and stack a bunch of special advances from each nation. One, I'm not here to micro stack. I'm no min maxer. I'm just an idiot. As well as I would lose all of the fun events that Alba gets, and presumably that Great Britain will get too. Also, while I have you here, please click the subscribe button. That's right, we just hit 250 as I last checked. I'm trying to hit 1,000. Color me surprised, but I want monetization. It would mean the world to me. Thank you very much for your time and have a great day. Alrighty, for this England war, we're just going to separate piece out Aragon for their money, which is all going to go to France, and all of their ducats. You know what? And because it's funny, I'm going to liberate some land in Africa. And then with England proper, yes, they will. Does this destroy England? What's going to happen here? I'm going to annex all of England and southern England, as well as their one bit of piece of Wales. I am going to take on West and East Flanders. I will do my best to sell this back to the French, hopefully. Hopefully, also the English vassal of Wales will transfer over to me. Can't force it, but hopefully. And we will finally have control of Perfidious Albion. And just like that, isn't it beautiful? Yes, Wales did become my vassal, which is even better. And a world without England is a good world indeed. Let me just see if I can sell away this land really quick. Okay, so France didn't want it, so what I'm going to do is I'll just release a custom subject there, or a historical subject, and then spit it out into the world, because I really don't want... Well, no, I don't want any land here. So we'll just make a vassal, and we'll give it to... who's somebody who deserves it? Yeah, this random clergyman gets to be in charge of his own vassal of West and East Flanders, and then we will just cancel our vassal status and spit it into the world. Congratulations, West Flanders. Good luck with that. Yeah, life is good. We are rolling in money. That's sweet, Aragonese thing. So, of course, as always, say it with me, the next step is to consolidate, build up the economy, and then we can worry about maybe looking a little further east, while also looking a little further west. Just as it's been a minute since we've looked at our crown reforms, I currently am running harbor administration for the naval governor in Ireland. Diplomatic traditions, obviously, because I've been playing quite wide with the vassals, and feudal nobility to keep the vassals happy. With the extra one we just got from Pike and Shot, I was looking, and I believed I was going to go with... I think I'm going to slot in Royal Decree, just because I want the extra crown power, and then I might actually... Yes, I will switch feudal nobility out for fixed vassal obligation, just to keep the vassals a bit more loyal. I'm not too concerned about the nobility. Um, Obviously, my stability's a little bit low, but that'll recover in time. And again, we're just annexing the last couple miners in Ireland. I haven't quite figured out where I'm going to put my Irish reservation because obviously, right? I have my little Cornish reservation here. I have my little Welsh reservation. I'm keeping the Northumbrians up in the lovely, lovely Hull. I think the English are going to end up either in Dorset or Hampshire. Just because I believe those have decent beaches. I've heard about the beaches of Dorset before. I don't know what actually happens there. And just like that, open sea explorations open up to us. So I'm about to blow basically the entire royal surplus on scouting ways to the New World. So I have managed to pick up 2 islands down in Cape Verde too. So this is that's gross. That's yeah, no, there's just nothing good about that down there. Scottish Cape Verde. Alrighty, it's been a little bit, but we've just been going through culturally converting places. As you can see, Norse-Gaelic culture is slipping down now into the Midlands and building up near London. Ignore the massive deficit. We're just, you know, the influx of population is making things a bit more expensive, but we're gonna start to pay that off really soon after we finish all of this exploring. It's fine, I promise. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, integration is going well as well. As you can see, we're well on our way to integrating away our English subjects and are looking at forming Great Britain quite soon. Alrighty, so I've sniffed out quite an opportunity. Not not what I was expecting to do just at the moment, but Norway and Sweden have got themselves involved in quite a war against the Teutons, and as such have lost most of their troops. So I figured I could just slide on in, pick up the Orkneys, maybe Iceland, maybe a little bit of Greenland, and maybe send my good Norse-Gale pops. Put some Norse back in the Norse Gaelic, you know. So we're just gonna saunter on over, fabricate a Parliament CB on the Orkneys, and by Jove, let's go get us some Orkney. This war should be a stomp. Should be. The Norwegians and Swedish really can't beat me at sea. They don't have enough well, the Swedish have 10 heavies. But if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. Alrighty, so just as a quick update in the Norway-Swedish war. So we're just going to take that one province from Sweden, or sorry, that one region, state, area. Area? No. Province, yeah. Okay, so we're just going to take that one province from Sweden as well as the money. You might go, oh, well, why am I not taking the whole thing? That's because from Norway, I'm going to take these 2 provinces and a bit more money, just so I have a nice little corner of Scandinavia now under my control. Of course, I'm going to release these back out to be vassals, but it gives us a foothold. I also, at some point, will want to build up probably Konghalla into a city so I can have a naval governor, because that's probably where I'll be able to push the most control. Yeah, alright. Otherwise, easy enough war. Did have to burn down basically all of the important parts of Norway and all of the important parts of Sweden. But you know, nothing like a good hustle. Just as a quick summary, after the Norway-Sweden war, of course, we've taken the Orkneys as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But we've also been doing a lot of exploring. I believe I've mentioned already what the only colony we have at the moment is Cape Verde. We are starting to explore into the Caribbean and into North America, doing a lot of Canadian regions. Don't know why that one's stuck highlighted, but we'll go and do that just to... Oh, is that what breaks? Weird. Anyway, yeah, so the exploration is really just starting to open up. We've also started to make more money, mostly because I've just stopped maxing the Diplo slider. The integration is going to cool down for a moment before we go back to finish off the last set of the English down here. Hey Darian, I got a plan, a scheme even. But first, we're gonna have to get down to Panama. This is my first time in playing EU5 that I've had just an event pop up that lets me religiously convert. If you want to read it, go right ahead. It's just talking about Calvinism in Scotland. And usually I just avoid the Reformation because it really doesn't do anything to your gameplay, and Catholicism is just quite a powerful religion as it is. But you know what? Because the options here, it's just a free convert to Calvinism. It'll kind of suck because it'll take a bit to convert the pops over. Yeah, why not? Let's go Calvinist. Yeah, I'll also go admin focus for the Age of Reformation. That event popped essentially immediately. That's neat. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this information. We're Calvinists now. In fact, we're probably going to be the only Calvinist tag in the whole world if I actually convert things over. But let's go and convert the whole of the British Isles over to Calvinism. The other important thing is I'm going to have to watch my battles a lot closer now, because if I get a bad roll, that's going to stay in effect for the entire battle. Which actually, in retrospect, this sounds a lot less fun. Also, real quick culture update. Norse-Gale, oh, not quite Norse-Gale London, but Norse-Gale Essex, and yeah, so just at a glance, I don't think people quite appreciate the new religion. Definitely not the English, and is that the Highlanders too? Yeah, the Highlanders are a bit uppy as well. Um, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So I am going to dump the Crown Reformed diplomatic traditions and go all the way down to or was it the administration of shipyards, just to get an extra naval governor. Obviously, we're playing very naval this game, and I do need a governor for the lands we're going to be taking in Scandinavia. On top of that, I also am going to remove royal decree. Yes, this is quite hard on the stability, but I am going to have to put in religious laws enforced. I would have rather avoid this. I would rather have avoided this, but if I don't convert people over fast enough, I am about to have quite a large civil war. So we're gonna try and just force people to be good and Calvinist quite quickly. I don't want to have to put down a 1.8 million pop size. Sorry, that just made it worse. I'm sure it's fine. We're doing fine. Everything is okay. This might have been a problem of my own creation, but hey, my suffering is your entertainment, right? Alrighty, so on the month tick, the Civil War is going to fire. France, fortunately, did ask me to join one of their wars, so I'm able to at least have my levies raised. This is going to suck. This is about to be a 2.9. This is about to be more than half of the country rising up against me. I think I can get the French in to help me put this down, but this is about to be remarkably unpleasant. Okay, no, France is fine. France is fighting the two the Provence and the two Sicilies, and soon enough, their only ally is about to explode into a million pieces too. You know what, France? Sure, take me on your wild ride. Oh wait, no, because I'm at war, they can't trigger. Okay, I have time. How could I forget? Okay, so maybe this is a big maybe, because this is on the AI's clock, so I think it's gonna explode whenever. I can convert enough people over that this doesn't blow up my face super bad. Yes, so immediately, only 3% of the country is the right religion. Not what you want to hear, not what you want to see. Um, we can also, okay, we're not embracing artillery. Possibly, at a inconvenient time, as France fights roughly all of Western Germany. you know, and all of southern Italy, and I'm about to explode. We can now form Great Britain, which we will do. I would love to know. We are now the Duchy of Great Britain. That's great. I really need to rank up. Um, I would really like to know what speech the Duke is giving as he rides into London or Edinburgh or Dublin or the actual capital of Dumfries, and like is explaining to everybody. But yes, yes, we're all about to explode and we're at war with half of the continent, but we will unify the kingdoms. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Except in a Norse-Gaelic accent, not whatever I just did. Truly wondrous. Alrighty, well, back to sitting on the time bomb that's only being held together by French's coalition wars. Also, just got hit with the religious civil disorder. So you'll love a good minus 50 stab hit. You know we're going to take the minus 50 stab hit because that's just the options for both of them. Ouch. And just like that, France has ended their coalition war. So you know what that means. It's time for the Scottish Wars of Reformation to kick off. Let's go. So on the month tick, we will have 1.6 million of our pops rise up. Essentially, half of Ireland, all of England, and roughly half of Scotland. This is gonna suck. First thing I'm gonna do, call France to my aid. Next thing I'm going to do is keep converting my provinces. And I have to just hope that the French can bail me out. Man, where have I heard that before? From France, you feel like hopping the channel anytime? You are a part of this, you know? I wouldn't be offended. Alrighty, we are pulling it back slowly. Just gotta actually basically take back England, and then we're pretty good. So why is the British revolt just the Swedish flag with like worse proportions? Hey, look at that. That's just wow. The British revolt is just stronger than Sweden too. That's awesome. Almost through. Just a whole lot of forts to get through. I really should have cleaned up some of the forts in England. That's hilarious. The guy who brought the Calvinist revolution to Scotland is getting brought up on charges of corruption. Fine. 1 second. Just replace him with this guy and put him in house arrest. Oh, praise be. Okay. We have finally beaten down the British revolt. As you can see, we basically had to make it all the way to South England. The duchy, that's so wrong. The duchy is in shambles. This is going to take some serious time to fix. I don't even know where to begin to start peeling back the layers of how fucked this is. Yeah, if I'm not minting like crazy, I'm losing money. We're gonna have to overtax the nobles, and we are 12,500 ducats in debt, gaining inflation. I just need some of my explorations to finish up and to take about 20 years facing inward and just building up. I would like to get back to Scandinavia, but I just don't have. I mean, look at the nation, right? We just recovered from a massive war, massive civil war, even. Religiously, we're divided. I. It's going to take a minute for us to get back on our feet, that's for certain. The other fun thing is, of course, the rebellion destroyed my local governor in London as well. Did they get rid of my local governor in Dublin? No. Okay. So I do have to build up control back in London all over again. Alrighty, things are somewhat back to normal. We are cripplingly deep in debt still. I do have minting maxed just because I need to get stability back to end the religious turmoil. Uh, I technically am staring down another Catholic revolt. That's why I'm trying to max out stability, or not max out stability, but end the religious turmoil before something like that happens. Um, we are on the road to recovery. It's just gonna take a little bit. Alrighty, now that the worst of that is over, there is something I wanted to do because I've been going on my little journey of kind of pocketing weird cultures. Right, we have Northumbrian in these writing. I'm keeping Welsh. I'm keeping Cornish. Dorset is going to be my little English colony. I also just wanted to make sure I set up a Irish one. Yeah, we'll do West Connacht as a. Oh, I get access to dominions. Interesting. I don't want to make it a dominion, so we'll do a fiefdom of West Connacht, and I also want to set up an Anglo-Irish somewhere. You know what? We'll just do the earldom of Clan William as Anglo-Irish, and again, you can just be a vassal there. Does it kind of impede how beautiful it looks? Yeah, but I like the idea of just keeping a random little menagerie. There was another one I wanted to make sure that we saved. I believe, is Norn still around? Yes, it is. I would like to keep a Norn vassal. The Orkneys, which, wow, that's pretty ugly, and I don't know why they're getting a random piece of Scotland. I'll seize the land back off of them eventually, but we'll release them as a fiefdom. And this way, we get to keep the weird, neat culture while still also, um, getting all of the land we actually care about. All right, so this is actually my first time going Calvinist and having a moment to look at it. So it does kind of look like Anglican from what I've seen. We can grant a divorce, we can destroy monasteries for money, and we can get religious aspects. And if I look at religious aspects, interesting. Okay, so we can get peasant satisfaction conversion speed. I like that at the moment. Crown head of faith, that's pretty good. Pop assimilation, that's pretty good. Okay, so you can. I really hope that you can kind of pick and choose these and reform the faith after the fact. For example, I'm going to take adult baptism. And yes, I could replace it for 50 church points. Okay. So that's nice. It lets you just kind of spec your buffs, I guess. Not as good as straight up Catholic. Still, you lose a lot of bonuses. But if we do the same thing over and over again, it just gets boring. As you can see, we have an uphill battle when it comes to actually spreading the faith. But hey, nothing wrong with that. It also looks like we're going to be dealing with the second Great Big Catholic Revolt, which is unfortunate, but there's just nothing I can do to stop it. So again, we're involved in one of France's many, many land wars. So we'll raise up all the levies and use them to roll them on over when they do rise up. It's a shame. I think if I had been able to get to... Yeah, I think if I was able to get to 30 stab, then I would have been able to stop it, but I'm just a couple months behind. So we'll just use the lads to go and break the those of little faith. Oh, you suck. Okay, take 2,000 ducats. Since we're Calvinist, I wonder if they think all of these Catholic revolts were preordained. Bum bum ba-dum. Oh, actually, because we're stuck in France's stupid war, it didn't pop. Right. Okay, so there's a chance that when we get this high, it'll fizzle out and die. And I'm really hoping it does. Really hoping. Because we've hit 30 stab, so on the next month tick, religious turmoil should end. No? I have at least one of these. I have greater than 30 stability. We're stable. Everybody's happy. What? It's at least one of these. Oh, no. Okay, I'm reading it wrong. It's 30 stability and at least one of these. The pastors could be happy if I gave them a little bit more things. Okay, here. Have expansionist zealotry. That puts my pastors to 66%. And how much power? 18 power. Also have literacy, religious literacy rights. Does that put you over 20% power? Please? Please? I would like to be out of this war. Okay. Yes, because the what? Oh, so for that to count, I need to be 60% spiritualist. Okay. Well, now I'm over 60% spiritualist. Does that count? Yes. Okay. So on the month tick, I should be out of the religious turmoil disaster. Oh, thank God. I guess literally. Um, Hopefully that means the Catholic zealots will stand down. I don't expect them to, but it does mean I can stop burning money on stability. Um, and we'll just slowly buy back our legitimacy. Um, Dang. Okay, so France's coalition war has ended. So that means on the month tick, we're going to have our Catholic rebels fire again. This one should be much smaller. It's still unfortunate. Yeah, that civil war went a lot faster than the last one. So we are able to disband everybody and actually take a deep breath and go back to repairing our battered nation. And this isn't a cheese thing. It genuinely is because I have no use for them. But all of the forts in South England are going to go. They're if I go to war with somebody, I'll just rebuild some new forts on the coast. But there's no reason for me to have this much shit just in the middle of the country eating up money. Like that's a more reasonable number, you know? One there, two. Yeah, that's better. Ah, cripe. Now that the nation has kind of calmed down a little bit, I did want to throw out a colony onto Cuba, and actually just make sure we have the whole island to ourselves. It'll be a little bit expensive, but we'll take time. I wanted to get Haiti, but two Sicilies beat me there. We'll also pick up Jamaica, because the idea of a Scotsman rolling a blunt is really funny to me. Oh, look at that, cultural ties. You know what that means? We can finally go over and we have so much culture capacity. Okay. I need 5 prestige and then I can accept the English, which will give me a buttload of accepting English will give me a buttload of cores and better control. We're, like I said, slowly pulling it back. One big criticism I can make of my gameplay this time around is I've not built up a economic base anywhere. Um, so I'm sitting here really struggling to make some major cities. Like obviously I've inherited London, but the problem is I've got my hands on it so late that I've not made the most of it. I suppose I could also be taking advantage of Dublin, and the fact that Dublin is run by the Anglo-Irish is so stupid. Another change I'm gonna make that maybe controversial, but once I've actually properly culturally converted over London to being Norse Gaelic, I am gonna move the capital down there, and I will set up a new city in Edinburgh and have a local governor there. There's just so much population down here that I'm not taking advantage of to the fullest extent due to limited control that I really can't. And this capital is it's cute, it's funny, it's just no good. Um, so I do have to put the capital where it matters. Our second real colony besides Cape Verde is, of course, St. Helena. Um, you guys have a lovely time starving to death down there. We're going to use you as a jumping off point into South Africa. Just like that, we also have a new colony in Cuba. So I'm gonna take a deep breath and refrain from colonizing too much more. I have my foothold in the New World. I'd like to get up into Canada, but and I also have a foothold down the Pampas, um, and Panama. Shout out to the Darien scheme. Uh, and there's a matter of things I got to do. I have to build up a local governor in Dublin. I have to move the capital down to London, and I have to uh, eventually integrate or build this up to be a city. and set up a naval governor in Scandinavia so I can, make use of that. There's a there's a lot to do. Right, now that I finally have enough prestige, I will go on and fully accept the English culture. This will put me right to my cultural limit, but more importantly, that finally will take all of England and make it, come on, make it a core. Yeah! Oh, look at that. And look at the money that comes in thanks to that now, finally. Okay. We're still, again, gonna try and make Norse-Gale nice and big. It's just nice to have, finally be able to core all that. And we have just finished our colony of South Africa. So, we're doing good. We're going international. I call it franchising. And we're also going to drop a local governor down in Edinburgh. It's almost time for us to make the big move down south. Just need to save up a couple thousand ducats to afford it. And with that, 2 more of our colonies finished, one down in South America, and the colony of Moron will join Cuba. And we're just going to rename you to Cuba because I'm out of funny names. Alrighty, Norway stands alone, and my professional army is right on their border. They can call up at best 14,000 levies, so we're just going to kind of just walk on in there and explain to them very carefully why we're remaking the North Sea Empire. And hopefully they understand. They're going to be very confused why we're speaking very broken old Norwegian. Alrighty, and just like that, Norway is an absolute stomp. We're taking the part of their country that actually has population. They're at 881,000. We're just going to check back in on them after this peace deal. Throw them. Oh, give it a tick. Give it a month tick. Throw them down onto 100. We've just stole 700,000 pops from Norway. Obviously, we're going to have to parcel this out into a bunch of vassals. Antagonism for that not great, but not bad for stealing, almost a million pops. We're gonna wait for it to cool down, then go on Sweden, wait for it to cool down, pick up Scania. But we're well on our way to the North Sea Empire from that. Ooh, I could make a bunch of dominions. That would be interesting. Why not? Let's set up some dominions in Norway, just because it's different. I'm sure that this will not bite me in the ass in any way. The nice thing about dominions is they're all forced to be Calvinite and have my culture as the primary culture. I'm not sure if we'll actually finish off Norway. I would like to, because then I get the vassals for free. It's just they're kind of... Are they everywhere? Did I pick up everything? I might have picked up everything. Maybe we will then. We'll see. Okay. There's the catch on dominions. I missed this. I cannot annex them for 50 years. On the other hand, I'm not really interested in eating up all of Norway just yet, so hopefully that'll give them time to do it. But for Sweden, I might only dominion the stuff further away that I won't be able to eat right away, and then let the rest cook, Cook to a juicy, medium rare Norse-Gale. Oh, and for those of you worried about me not setting up a wonderful little Norwegian state, we're actually just going to plop down a custom subject right here on the Faroes. Anyway, we're just going to drop a Norwegian custom vassal up here and let them, that way I can convert over as much as Norway as I want, and their culture will continue to exist on the shitty little island. Is it still cultural genocide if I put in guardrails? That Portuguese colony is massive. Like, I get, like, Portugal, go Brazil, hoorah, but that is, that's 2 million pops. That's insane. And that's only in 70 years. Oh, wow. Alrighty, now we're going to do the somewhat painful action of moving the capital down to London. This hurts one because I'm going to lose all of my capital buildings up here, the House of Parliament, the Royal Garden, and the Royal Court. I'll just have to rebuild them. I shouldn't lose that much proximity up here because I've built up Edinburgh. But, you know, still unpleasant. But I'm going to get so much more control and money out of the English lands down here. Not that Scotland isn't worth money, it's just, how do you say, a bit of wasteland. I'm sorry, Scotsman, please don't skin me. You're very pretty, I like your Highland cattle. Interesting, so I've just been hit with the event of the Babington plot. I have a choice of either having a Catholic civil war or basically making amends. My current Duchess would leave the throne, and instead her aunt would take the throne. And I'm going to because I don't want to fight another civil war. Unless, wait, what? Why didn't I lose the throne? I thought, okay, well, that was a whole waste of time reading all that then. Whatever. Oh, you're kidding me. I'm getting hit with this again? I've already resolved this disaster. Am I gonna get another Catholic Civil War too? Okay, well that's a 50 stab hit for the second time. Thank you, game. I needed that. I really was worried about, you know, not having that. Yeah, but nobody's gonna rise up because I'm tolerant. What do you... I'm not mad. I feel like we can only have one religious turmoil. We didn't need a second one. You know, I was just looking at some of the some other religious aspects that I could pick into, and Ursaria Aloud seems really nice, especially just because I've been having because I have such a delayed economy. Man, printing money sure would help me get back on my feet. So we're gonna slot that in. There's some other kind of better ones that I would like to get to, but nothing better than a bit of money lending and collecting interest on said money lending. And also on that note, Wales has been annexed, and that is going to be the last vassal in the British Isles that we consume, because every other one of these is a little reservation for the indigenous population of the Isles, besides the Scots. The Scots don't get one just because they're all cored. So in that regard, you know, it sucks to be Scottish, but everyone else culturally has been getting converted on over to Norse-Gale, the Irish, the English, Scots especially, and religiously is becoming Calvinist. But Dorset is our little English reservation, Cornwall for the Cornish, that for the Welsh, Northumbrian, Highlander, Irish, and Anglo-Irish. And of course the Orkney for Norn, and the Northern Isles for Norwegian. Now it's time to go and pick up some new little stones to put into my gauntlet. Actually, that'd be kind of a neat campaign idea to go and see how many different cultures you can collect. Because, like, I've not been really trying to, and I've picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just little oddities. But I'm sure if you did it, like, you know, as France, or as the yuan, or one of the Chinese states, you could get some really weird things cooking, you know? Like, you could have... Oh, gosh. And it'd be gross, too, because you have a bunch of little blisters, like my Great Britain does. Well, at least they're color shaded the right way, you know? Just like that, we've annexed our way into Norway, or right between Norway and Sweden. We just need to encourage some migration here to get a city. They're just both a little bit off, and then we can get it built up to a naval governor, and then we are cooking with gasoline, which in retrospect doesn't sound that good. Alrighty, we're gonna go in on Norway again. I'm just gonna let my vassals in Norway eat him alive. The goal is to full annex Norway and hopefully take over Iceland and Greenland by proxy. You know, I don't have anything funny to say about this, but Norse-Gale William Shakespeare is pretty good. Alrighty, and just like that, we're gonna put the Norwegians in the ground and take Iceland and Greenland for ourselves. I need to get out of this France war so I can give away all this useless Swedish or Norwegian Arctic land. I can probably give it to some bigger subjects too, because it really is everything that is Arctic is incredibly useless. Our Canadian colonies are doing quite well. We're going to have a rough split of Nova Scotia and New Ireland. Cuba is finished. We picked up Panama. We picked up the Galapagos Islands. We're growing into Argentina or La Plata. And South Africa is sitting there being jolly. We're going to ask the English to improve their cultural opinion of me. So now, for the whole English culture, it is only costing me 2 of my accepted cultural limit. So now I can go over to Norwegian and I can full on tolerate them, or sorry, accept them when I get the chance. And all of this, not that the important stuff will be Norse-Gale already by the time I get there, but it's nice. And for the first time in a long time, actually, we're the majority. Sorry, no, we're still 2% smaller than the English, but we are a significant minority in our own country, and Calvinism is the majority religion. So really, we're doing quite well. Holy shit, the French Forever War has finally come to pass. 10 years later. So, I suppose that means I should start annexing into Norway proper. And of course, my favorite thing, where the heretic event drops me down by 5,000 ducats or lose 20 stab. I'm so glad that this event this disaster re-triggered when I did so much wrong. And now that this province is a city, now that this location is a city, we can set down a naval governor. This is a very weird event. Somebody spent a lot of time making the artist stuff. I know I've got off about this before, so I'll save my breath. But the whole artist system is weird. Also, the fact that it's $100 machine or $100 thing to build the Globe Theater, which for some reason is going to increase the literacy of my peasants, laborers, and soldiers by 10%. And the cultural influence makes sense. But I'm surprised that that's like a global max literacy stack instead of like a local. Also, the fact that it's saying, hey, you can spend 5,000 ducats, or you can avoid the precaution and probably get it flooded, is a little disconcerting. So, we're gonna do the funny because it's a flavor event, and you take the flavor you can get in EU5. Ignore the 30,000 ducats in debt. That's just because the religious turmoil disaster keeps giving me the thing where it costs about 5,000 ducats. It's just an odd system altogether, I suppose. Alrighty, and for our next step of unification with the homeland, we're gonna deck on Scania with a destroy enemy CB. And we're gonna go and test out this new model army I just found. Alrighty, and just like that, we are finishing up with Scania, taking all of their land, taking all of their money. The antagonism is there, but not bad. It's only Sweden and Denmark. Am I stupid, or did our flag just change somewhat recently? It wasn't always that. It was like the Scottish Royal Crest, the English Royal Crest, and the Irish Royal Crest. But when did it become the Union Jack? But instead of with the English flag, it's mainly the Scottish flag. That's fun. Okay, well that's cute. When the heck did that happen? How did I not notice that? Now we're gonna deck on Denmark with Cleanse Heresy and pretty well just clean them out. There's nothing they should be able to do to stop me. So I just learned a very personal lesson in why Calvinism's everything is preordained thing can suck sometimes, because I just rolled a 1 while attacking the Danish army with my professional stack, and it went incredibly poorly. Like, ow. So just, be conscious of that, I suppose. Alrighty, and besides getting my nose kind of bloodied against Denmark, we're going to send this one on home. We're going to take the western half of the Jutland Peninsula and cut off the German tags from below, besides the ocean. We're going to piss some people off, but not make a full coalition. We should be able to start integrating this right away. I do want to keep one subject on Vendisseldi just to keep a Danish reserve. There we go. Alrighty, lads, everybody go home. Well, one, religion, you can really see where the Calvinists have been, and two, Norse-Gale culture. Of course, the English are still slowly getting eaten alive by it. My men have been busy, but Norway is mostly Norse-Gale. This is great. Fun event just popped up here. Gotta say, Great Britain, surprising amount of just fun events, where we can send our Duke on a submersible. And I'm sure that this is going to go well. Oh, wow. Okay, and it did. It just gives us 10 research points. Fantastic. Well, that was a free research for a chance for the Duke to die, but hey, we take this. Alrighty, now that the economy is doing much better, that I've actually taken a moment to build up, and I'm gonna let a lot of these colonial charters finish and not renew them. I've been running really heavy on colonizing. New South Wales, New Cornwall, Panama, Cuba, Florida, Nova Scotia, New Ireland, the James Bay Company, right? South Africa. Really hard on colonizing, so the money's been kind of tight. But I think I'm gonna slow down on the colonies and really try to build up an economy bigger than France, first off, because we really should be blowing past France, and I've just been dawdling. Because once I'm greater than them economically, I can finally, no longer be attached to them at the hip. They've run me through so many stupid wars. I've cut out almost all of them, hopefully. And then it's just one last push to make the North Sea Empire, or I guess it'll be the Duchy of the North Sea, because that's another thing, we can't actually be anything greater than Duchy unless I get enough prestige, but not quite. On top of that, the other thing I want to do is build up a bunch of universities and take the diplomatic hegemony, so I can start to assimilate Britain on a provincial, or is it? I can't remember now. It's not a region level. No, it's a area level. Yeah, so I can start to like integrate all of the English Pops Way on a area wide level. Oh, and we have finally, for the second time, finished the religious turmoil disaster. That's been going on for so fucking long. I don't know what I did that triggered it a second time, but that was incredibly unpleasant both times. It's just so expensive to keep having it fire over and over and over again. I really don't want the... Yeah, cool, great. I'm tired of civil wars, man. We have enough stability, hopefully the English Civil War doesn't fire. You know what's great? The English Civil War isn't going to fire, but we might have the religious turmoil fire for a third time. I don't know why the Council of Trent isn't ending. It feels like it should have ended, but nobody's having any debates. Nobody's having any debates in the Council of Trent, so there's no need for that. Will this... Okay, well, at least when the Age of Absolutism comes about, hopefully this will end. I'm gonna just mass spend into stability and hopefully dodge it. I'm definitely gonna take on a bit of debt, but I'm not going through that for a third time. You better believe that I managed to have a trigger a third time. That's right. Let's go. Let's get minus 50 stability again and probably trigger the English Civil War. Please tell me I can get out of this very quickly. Okay. Wait, so am I going to be allowed to leave immediately, or do I need to get... No, I need to get positive stability, too. You suck, game. Screw you. You hit me with bad stability events. Like, hey, yeah, Cromwell's around, and then you hit me with those bad events, and then you give me this for the third time. Just put a check on it that I can only have religious turmoil once per age, per decade. Because now I'm bleeding ducats all over again. I'm gonna go back 20,000 ducats in debt while paying this shit off. Yes, I could stop paying down my Diplo spending. But where's the player? Long and short of it, unpleasant gameplay experience. You know, what's great too is I'm getting hit with religious turmoil over and over again because I decided to join the Reformation, not because I decided to stay Catholic. If I stayed Catholic, this wouldn't be a problem. It just don't convert. Don't you get nothing out of joining the Reformation. That's what I've learned out of this. This event, this event right here, I hate it. Again, I think I've cut most of this out, but I have had to see this event at least 20 times. And it has single-handedly shut down so much economic growth potential for me because you need stability to get out of this stupid thing. Oh, that's great. That's great. I love it here. Don't join the Reformation, kids, not even once. I wonder, right, if Calvin was sitting there talking to God, like, yeah, it's preordained. Let's fuck up this Britain run. And just like that, we've made it to the age of absolutism. Which, dang. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up the admin focus again. Uh, not not anything particularly crazy just going on. Almost finished our integration. Gonna pay back the loans that this wonderful event. I really was hoping it would go away when we got to the age of absolutism, but I guess not. So we're going to push on, finally get rid of that, and just like that, slowly but painfully, we have dragged ourselves over the North Sea Empire. Forming this will almost certainly get rid of all of our unique events we've been getting as Britain, but you know what? That's okay. Show me the North Sea Empire, which is in fact just the Duchy of the North Sea. It is a relatively unassuming light blue with a okay flag and no actual events. Cool. Well, there goes all of our flavor. Alrighty, let me do a little bit of cleanup and then we'll put a bookend on this. And for the third and final time, we finally get out of religious turmoil. God, that sucks. Alrighty. Let's do a quick spin down of this whole campaign because I think that's where I'm gonna call it. Well, we started as the Isles, formed Alba, formed Great Britain, and eventually formed the North Sea Empire. We span pretty well not just all of the North Sea, but also the North Atlantic, with some of our more notable vassals being, Iceland, most of colonial Atlantic Canada, a decent chunk of the Caribbean, New South Wales, New Cornwall, New Oslo, South Africa. Economically, it was a wash this game. I did not achieve what I should have achieved. Um, the growth looks good, but this is not it, Chief. We should be blowing past the French by an entire age ago. I think it's partially because I was so focused on the warpath, I never actually built up the ground behind me, and also because I got to building up so late, like 100 years behind everybody. Culturally, we've done quite well. Norse-Gale is much stronger than it has any right to be, and it could only continue growing. We control essentially all of southern Scotland, all of Northumbria. We are very heavily intermixed with the Irish, um, all of Norway, and also London is primary culture Norse-Gale, or primarily Norse-Gale. Possibly another one of my fumbles was going Calvinist. Well, it is a funny religion. Having your rules be locked in combat, if you're not microing that, is very unfortunate. And then getting hit with the religious turmoil disaster 3 times is very unfortunate. But this is the best I've seen the Reformation do, of course, because the players behind it, and even then, it's flubbed it on most of the continent. I wish I could stab France in the back, but I just don't have it in me. I would love to get down and save the Bretons and really have all the Celtics, all the Celtic cultures, but that'll have to come at another time. Uh, let's see, what else am I missing? Let's see, colonially, we did well. Economically, poorly. Religiously, eh. I suppose the one thing I can take away that I really did enjoy about this campaign is the little kind of pockets of culture that I kept instead of just making everything a big monoculture. Yes, I did accept cultures. I probably could have converted things harder. But I like having just a little Irish subject, just a little Anglo-Irish subject, just a little Highland subject. It's cute, you know? Oh, and the market map mode. I don't think anything's changed since the start. Just Oslo, Lund, London, Edinburgh, Dublin. Alrighty. Oh, and of course the integration map mode. Everything is cored very well. Oh, except this, because we don't like the Swedes. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed. This took quite a bit for me to do. Gotta say, playing into the Age of Absolutism is going pretty deep into EU5, if you ask me. Definitely need a palate cleanser of just a nice plain tall country instead of going too wide. I think that was my downfall. I went a little too wide. If you have any runs you want to see, leave them in the comments down below. If you had something you like, tell me about it. If you had something you disliked, tell me about it too. It's all engagement bait. Thank you very much for your eyes and ears. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to subscribe button. And I will see you around. This is Brown Dog 2 signing off.